Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late August 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancerians. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going, my gods. Talk to me. What do we got for the Cancerians here in late August? Early part of Virgo season. What energies, messages, insights do we have for our good friends? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in late August, please. Let's get this first card out nice and quick. What's going on for my good friends? Please. There we go. Thank you. Okay. So we do have this little focus on appearance, which could be good. And I always say with this card, it's either really, really good or it's something you're going to have to watch out for, especially if there's like certain egotistical individuals around you. But this could be a really nice card as well. Before we fully dive into it, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about this card a little bit. So we see this lovely lady in the center of the room wearing that big blue dress. She's got on a wig and she's looking in a mirror. Notice that there's tons of mirrors in this room all over the place. So I do link this card to beauty, aesthetics, how you present yourself to the world. So for a lot of Cancerians, maybe there's something you're changing up about your look in this time, whether it's wardrobe, whether it's the hairdo, or any sort of aesthetic change could be prominent in this time. So that could be really good for you. It's a card of beauty. It's a card of confidence. So I really do like this card in most times. So the real dicey part of this is the fact that there are so many mirrors around. Now, I'm not saying this is you being egotistical or anything like that. If there's any individual around you that's a little self-absorbed, that's a little egotistical, you might want to keep an arm's length when this card is here, because it could just represent somebody that they're just focused on themselves and it's only what they care about. It's like a full self-focus with this. But aside from that, this could be really nice, especially when it comes to confidence and beauty. And there could just be a big focus on how you present yourself to the world, even in health matters. So we're just going to leave it at that. Let's put her over there. She could keep looking in the mirror. Let's get into tarot. And I always say the first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 in the upright. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. Shuffle it up one time here for the Cancerians. And while we get this shuffled and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. I will say this, for the past couple of weeks, it seems like we've had a nice energy moving towards you. The reading was titled A Surprising Win. And know that that could linger on for a little while. So for a lot of you, I say wins come in all different shapes and sizes, whether it's relationships, whether it's career and money. I feel like for a lot of you, certain things could really go your way, even if you're not expecting them to. Felt like a very lucky type of energy last week. So let's see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. So let's get it going here. 3 cards for the Cancerians. What do we got? Okay, yeah, the deck is wanting to talk. The Tower flipped over in my hand, but it didn't pop out. Okay, we do have the King of Wands in position number 1. Confident. There's something here about confidence, especially with that first Oracle card. Now we have the King of Wands. I usually link that lady in the blue to like the Queen of Wands. So there's like this fiery energy surrounding confidence. Let's get a couple more. We'll start piecing it all together. Okay, this could be you. We have the High Priestess, position number 2. Highly intuitive. So it's like we have the outer world, we have the inner world. Outer, inner. Let's get one more out here. See what's up. Yeah, for Cancer, please. Thank you. Okay, a little high strung, different vibe than what we've been seeing for the past couple weeks. Lots, I don't want to say it's like paranormal energy, but there's a lot of spiritual energy, especially here on the back end. So we're going to have to explore that much further. Now, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, we do have a little mixture of things happening. Elementally, we have some fire, we have some water, we have some air. So this could be different situations. I mean, it could be different aspects of the same thing. I always like to look at how they all play off of each other. And I mean, the water could definitely cool off this fire and air explosiveness, but we have possible individuals. We have this little high strung energy. We have the intuitive energy. So it just feels like a lot of different things. So don't get overwhelmed in this time. But let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out. Position number 1, the King of Wands. Now, for a portion of you, this could be a fire sign you're connected to. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And it's not gender specific, but I always say kings represent control of their suit. And the King of Wands, that's the element of fire. Now, that is your internal combustion. It's a card of action. It's a card of making moves. This is a very entrepreneurial, outgoing type of energy. When I see the King of Wands, I think of where you're focusing your energy. Are you hyper-focusing on one thing? Are you focusing your energy in the right places? Are you wasting your energy? These are all questions you could ask whenever the King of Wands shows up. This card, in its positive, is all about action, results, and confidence. Now, when we get to the challenging aspect of this King of Wands, sometimes it could be quite temperamental. Sometimes this card could be very unpredictable. It's fiery, it's explosive. So just know there might be certain situations like we saw last week that could be popping up out of nowhere, things that change quickly. But this is a card of action. Hopefully you're not feeling temperamental. Okay, like with the very first card we got, now this King of Wands, to me it just feels temperamental. That's the best way for me to put it. Now moving to the center, we have the beautiful High Priestess. One of my favorite cards in the whole entire deck. She is the matron of psychics, intuitives, tarot readers. A lot of readers link her to the Pisces collective, but I personally like to give her to all the water signs. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So in my simplistic style, this could be representing you, because I do feel that the High Priestess does embody a lot of the traits of all the water signs. Now, aside from spirituality in and of itself, aside from ritual, this could be an energetic sensitivity. So just know for a lot of you, your empathy, you could have a heightened sensitivity to the energy of those around you, the places you're at. So just know you might want to keep yourself energetically locked in whenever the High Priestess is here. She's a card of intuition. But aside from all the spiritual ties and archetypes, one thing I always say, which might be the downside of the High Priestess, is she's very secretive. She's a card of the hidden. She's obscured. There's knowledge that she has that she's not putting out there. So, of course, this could be surprising, unexpected energy, similar to what we saw last week. So I'm hoping it spins in a positive fashion that way. Not a lot of talking with her. Not a lot of talking. There's a lot of knowing, but there's not a lot of speaking. Now, we're going to get her right back here, because you see what I mean? It's a totally different vibe than what we have here in the front. And again, simply it could just tell us something that's coming towards you. Now, the back end, we do have a little pressurized type of energy. We have the Nine of Swords. Notice this person, you don't always have to be an expert in tarot to read the cards. This person's sitting up in bed with the hands in the face. Watch out for sleep issues in this time. Some Cancerians, you might be having a hard time getting to sleep on time, or there could be issues with your sleep schedule, maybe having a hard time sleeping in general when this card is in the mix. But aside from that, this could represent somebody that's on edge, anxious, nervous. There could be a situation that somebody's stressing about. So these are little themes that could be showing up for you. Now, in the positive sense of this card, and I'd said it in the very beginning, this is one of my cards of the paranormal. It is. So just know, like, I'm seeing a double down of the energy of heightened sensitivity to energies, which is usually very subtle. But I feel for the Cancerians, especially in this little block of time, there's just a super heightened sensitivity. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're having a lot of interesting experiences in that realm. So we're going to have to see what all this is about. Yeah, when the Nine of Swords is here, it's stressing about something. Okay, and I'm not saying it's definitely you, but I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here for the Cancerian, see what's happening for my good friends. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that King of Wands. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, King of Wands time. What's this about? What is this about? That's the one thing I'm seeing here, like with all the cards, the commonalities. There's like obscured energy. Page of Wands. Okay, very straightforward, extremely direct. This could absolutely be a conversation or a talk of some kind that's coming in hot, it's coming in quick. Now, I did already mention that the high priestess, she knows a lot, she's not saying a lot. This energy on the front end is the complete opposite. Like, it might not know much, but it's always talking. So just know there might be like someone around you where they're yapping, 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 or they're just always talking, talking, talking. It's like they kind of like hearing the sound of their own voice. I don't know. I don't want to be mean, but that's just how it's coming through to me. Now, the Page of Wands is the less evolved version of this King of Wands, right? All pages are students, all pages are messengers. For a lot of you, this could really be a nice alignment of throwing your energy into new things. So whether it's new opportunities, new tasks, new business ideas, new ways to express yourself, anything new is highly favored when we have the King of Wands with the Page of Wands, because it's a process of mastery. So it can be really good. But again, I'm also getting the vibe for some of you that there might be somebody that's just always talking, talking, talking. It's like someone that can't keep a secret, or someone that just can't stay quiet. They're just always talking, talking, talking. I don't know. It feels incessant to me. And for a portion of you, yeah, this could be a fiery conversation or talk with the double fire, right? Because remember, this is coming in hot. It's very explosive. So just know there might be a fiery talk or conversation that comes in. One person handles it much better than the other, though. Let's keep moving. Yeah, I don't want to get hung up here. I feel like it's one or two of those main things, right? Either that's someone that's a bit of a blabbermouth, or it's that fiery, explosive talk. So let's see what the queen, not the queen, the high priestess has to say. She is a queen, though, right? Why is the high priestess here? Please. Really want to get over to that Nine of Swords, too. Thank you. Yeah, total opposite. All right, so for some of you, this could be somebody that's gone quiet. Okay, and I'm not saying that's for like everybody where it goes from like full go to full stop. So for a portion of you, that could absolutely be the case. There could also be big communication issues where it's like this energy here, it's wide open. It's telling you all the things, or sharing all the information. Then when we get to the High Priestess and the Nine of Swords, it's putting a wall up where it's like, not saying nothing. So just there could, for a big portion of you, there could be someone where there's just a big vibe switch. Okay, so just watch out for that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a terrible thing. Now, for a portion of you, maybe you're being a little more reserved. Maybe you're being a little more cautious, which is totally fine. There's a lot of conversating that I'm picking up here. There's a lot of talking, but it's mostly coming from one side. It's mostly coming from one side. So the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior, you see that person, they're standing guard. This could represent somebody that's very skeptical, that's very protective. This is a private type of energy, so it's the total opposite of what I'm picking up here. So there's only a few ways that this could present. Now, for a portion of you, this might be advice from spirit saying like, hey, Cancer, don't say too much, or don't give too much information. I don't know why that's coming through, but take it however it hits. But there's one energy that's wide open, the other one's pretty much closed down. So hopefully this isn't a vibe switch or a vibe shift. For some of you, this could be a little bit of a roadblock, but let's keep moving over to the Nine of Swords. Because it's like we're talking, there's a lot of stuff going on, and boop, it stops. Let's see why the Nine of Swords is here, or at least pulls back. So why is the 9 here? And we'll get into a quick recap before the shadow. Quick. Okay, so for a portion of you, you might just, like, you feel something in the air, like something's off. Something's off. And I'm not saying that to be like scary or nervous or anything like that. And I mentioned in the middle how it feels like the vibes have changed or the vibes switched. Two of Pentacles in reverse does speak about a little bit of an imbalance. So this could be a couple different things. Of course, to me, this represents either someone that's like nervous or stressing about something. So it could be a couple different things. One, either somebody is just super busy, they got a lot on their mind, they got a lot on their plate, because this Two of Pentacles is always juggling a lot of stuff. So it would be very important to pace yourself in this time and don't like overwhelm yourself with different tasks and things and situations, because it might not be worth the stress. But for another portion of you with the Nine of Swords and the Two of Pentacles, like this could easily be someone stressed or nervous about this little vibe switch that I was picking up in the center. Okay, so I feel like it's a very simplistic message. It's extremely straightforward. And yeah, let's just go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card, because I don't want to like talk this into the ground. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. But if you kindly look in the box before the shadow, position number 1, we have the King of Wands with the Page of Wands. There's a lot of talking. Yes, this could be like explosive conversation or talk. To me, it just feels like incessant. Like there's a lot of communication, a lot of talking. It's nonstop. Okay, whereas like this one in the center has its filter up, this one has no filter. So it's just talking, 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 back and forth, back and forth. And then there's like that sudden screech when we get to the center because we have the High Priestess and the Nine of Wands. So for some of you, there might be a vibe switch between you and another person, or it's like super hot and cold, where it's like completely on, completely off, or like there could be someone you haven't heard from in quite a while. For a portion of you, this could be Spirit telling you to be cautious with how much information you give. I think you get the point of what I'm seeing here. It could also just be that big vibe switch where it's like full go to like almost a full stop. Onto the back end, we have the Nine of Swords with the Two of Pentacles in reverse. I did say for some of you, just make sure you don't overload your plate in this time. Make sure you're not taking on too much because this is like stressed, anxious, nervous type of energy, and overloading yourself might not be worth the stress. But this could also be someone very nervous about the vibe switch that we're picking up here. It's like I feel it in the air. So please take a screenshot of that if you want to look into it further. Very simple, self-explanatory energy this week. So let's see what's in the shadows for you. And yeah, I always say, like, I like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. What do we got for Cancer? Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, shadow card time. What is in the shadows for the Cancerians, please? No, there we go. I'm going to say that one card almost came out. I picked this up in one of the Earth signs this week as well. And I mentioned that it's one of the more common shadow cards that we see, and it's the Tower. Okay. And I feel like it does tie into this reading itself in a couple different ways. Now, a portion of you, if you're unfamiliar about the Tower, it's Scorpio energy, and generally represents shock. It represents very fast, rapid changes of situations, changes of emotion. So for a portion of you, when this shows up as a shadow card, there might be a Tower moment that you've experienced that it's still lingering in the energy, or you might still be dealing with it. You might still be working through it. Kind of makes sense with what we have here in the center, but that's not always the case. To me, like, it also ties into like feeling something in the air. I will say this, don't think that everything's going to be worst case scenario, or don't think the other shoe is going to drop. A tower in the shadows doesn't always mean that, like, hey, be careful, a tower's coming towards you. To me, I feel like it's more of a lingering energy. Sometimes the past doesn't always dictate the future, right? Like, yes, we learn a lot of things from the past. We learn a lot of things from the things that we've been through, but situations aren't always going to go worst case scenario. I feel like a need to give that message here. So yeah, Cancer, we're going to put that down right there. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. And for the July subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after this week's Fire and Air readings. But for the August subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of the beautiful Gilded Tarot Royale, one of my favorite decks ever. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, if you could time travel, would you rather go into the past to meet your ancestors, or would you rather go into the future to meet your descendants? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.